This is Jocko Podcast number 203 with me, Jocko Willink. I want to make sure everyone makes it home alive. Corporal Jason Dunham told his friend Lance Corporal Mark Dean. He was explaining to Dean why he was extending his enlistment. Their battalion was headed for a 6-month deployment to Iraq. Jason was due to get out of the Marine Corps in a couple months into that deployment, which meant his time was up and he could carry on with his life. He had honorably served his country, done what his country had asked him to do. But it wasn't enough for him. So he signed on for enough time to complete that deployment in order to make sure that his friends, his comrades, his fellow Marines made it home alive. And that's what he did. He took care of his men. He led them. He protected them. And he gave them and all of us everything. And it is an honor tonight to have some of those men with us to tell us about Jason Dunham, how he lived, how he served, and how he died. A man, a Marine, and a hero. We have with us Corporal Kelly Miller, Sergeant Bill Hampton, Staff Sergeant John Ferguson, and Lieutenant Colonel Trent Gibson. Gentlemen, thank you for showing up here. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for making the trip. And thanks for sitting in those seats to talk about this. And I want to get right into it. Let's go back to 2003. And you guys are in the best place in the world to be. A Marine Infantry Battalion, 3-7 Marines, a little place called 29 Palms. And you're all in Kilo Company, I believe. Is that right? You were all in Kilo Company at the time?
Yes. I was not at the time. I came in late May of 2003. I was at EWS, the Captain's Career Course. TMO was packing my shit, and I got a call from the battalion XO, Major Anthony Henderson, and he says, "Hey, we need you over here. You're flying out of LAX in 2 weeks." So these guys had already been in country for the whole fucking march up. We're already back in Karbala, south of Baghdad, doing stability and security operations. So I came in late May, took command of the company, spent 3 months with Kilo till August when we redeployed. We were the second to last Marine Battalion back out. 1/7 stayed down in Najaf, I think. And so that was August 2003.
Okay.
And Dunham was still a member of Kilo 3-4 at the time.
Got it.
But these guys, Hampton and Ferg, they were there for the whole fucking march up and the rest of it.
Okay.
And then Miller came on.
Yeah, August of 2003 is when I graduated. No, I was at School of Infantry. I went to boot camp in June of 2003. graduated September 11th of 03. Went to the School of Infantry. I didn't get to 29 Palms until I think it was first month of December, or first of December of 2003. So I joined during the workup for the deployment.
So tell me a little bit about the workup for that deployment. Let's just jump into that.
I remember taking a bus ride to literally the middle of nowhere, which was 29 Palms, and as soon as we hit the ground, Sergeant Trejo took all of us around because it was a big dump. I think you guys got like 20 guys.
No, we got 30.
30, okay. And so literally we got off the bus and instantly went to SIF and got our gear, and we went and got our rifles, we got our SAPI plates, and by the end of the day we were up in the sandhills.
So you're a boot at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you're checking in, and it's legit, like here's your gear, and now we're going on some training exercises now.
Yes. Literally. So that day we graduated the School of Infantry at 3 o'clock. By 10 o'clock at night, I'm up on a sandhill attached to a platoon getting ready to get some.
And what were you doing at this time, Ferg?
Well, I'll take it back to October of 02 because I was on Security Forces cadre duty at a little place called Little Creek, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Indeed.
And then I checked into the battalion, and then we did the quick workup, and then we did the push. But what was crazy about 3-7 is I remember we were there for so long. We were the first infantry unit in the desert, and then slowly the entire division built up around us. Mm-hmm. And then on the push up to Baghdad, we were the first ones across the breach, took Safwan Hill, and then the whole snakehead of the division just passed us, and we fell in trail. And we didn't get to the lead element until we were just about to go into Baghdad again. But what was unique is that we did stay there.
What were you at that time?
I was a staff sergeant. I was a platoon sergeant.
Okay.
For Kilo 1 at the time.
Roger.
And I had a good man, Lieutenant Dave Fleming, as my platoon commander. And then I had Wild Bill here. He was one of my top saw gunners for that deployment. So I got to do 9 months with him.
All praise the saw gunners of the world.
When in doubt. That's all.
Hey, that thing can sing, I'll tell you. You just take care of her, and she'll sing all day for you.
Indeed. So you were on that push-up too, Bill?
Yes.
And now you guys are all back. So you guys get done with that deployment, and you guys are doing a quick turnaround to go back again, right?
Yeah, I think one of the quickest ones, we did 9 months, and then our workup and everything, we only did 5 months back in the States. And went back again for OIF2 for an additional 8 months. So in the 22-month time, we were deployed for 17 of those. It was unreal. And then I remember, too, that the day that they told us we were going back for OIF2, it was on a Friday, and it was just before the ball weekend.
Get some.
So then, and then the wives find out about all this, and then so they're not too mad. You're supposed to have a good time at the ball. Then a lot of them, all they can think about is, well, you just got back. Yeah. And I was thinking that maybe they should have not told us, wait till Tuesday after the 72, but.
Let us have a good weekend with the ladies.
The good old military, green weenie.
Check. So that's the time you're going back. Hey, what do you guys remember about when you're meeting Jason for the first time?
So if I can put this in perspectives. So Miller is talking about graduating SOI in the afternoon and then being up on goddamn cardiac kill that fucking night, right? So this is a full 5-day battalion-level training exercise that we're conducting. It's station training. It's being facilitated by our sister battalion 17, who was the last battalion out in OF1. But we're going to be the first battalion back, so they bent over backwards to set up this training for us. And once that Friday hits, we're on a 2-week leave block for Christmas. Then on the 2nd of January, we're going to be at March Air Force Base for one more battalion-level training exercise, and that's the last battalion-level training we've got before we push. And I'm going to wind up going on an advanced party on fucking Valentine's Day, right? So
Get some.
it's happening. It's happening quick. We ain't got no freaking time. So that afternoon, I'll never forget. We're up on the hill above this row of barracks where 3-7 is billeted, and we're running through the stations. And first sergeant comes up to me. He says, "Hey, sir, we're getting 30 boots from SOI tonight." Fucking excuse me. Thanks for the heads up. For sorry, and I know I'm shooting the messenger, but what the fuck? Hey, I'm not complaining. We're getting 30 new Marines, but Jesus Christ, could we get a little heads up? So those Marines are going to get plugged right into the training, right? And so I've got a decision to make about how I'm going to plug 30 brand new Marines into the company, which right now is really imbalanced. There was a huge loss of NCOs at the end of OIF-1 as end of any deployment, right? You're either EASing or PCSing. So we don't have an even spread of leadership ranks in the platoons. We don't have an even spread of experience in the platoons. I think 2nd platoon had like 20 Marines in it. 3rd platoon had 25 at the time. So I got a decision to make. Do I just top everyone off at 30 something Marines, and overnight, if I did that, Kilo 2 overnight is going to be twice as inexperienced as, say, Kilo 3. So I knew there was going to have to be some manpower shifting in order to be able to absorb the new blood evenly without putting a platoon at a deficit, right? And on top of that, from my 3 months in country at the end of OIF-1, the thing that I was never happy with was weapons platoon. Because they're a weapons platoon. They're not organized as a standard rifle platoon. And in the environment that we were operating, that conventional task organization had no place. It was wholly impractical and unwieldy. If weapons platoon was tasked with doing a patrol in Karbala, they had to borrow rifles from another rifle platoon in order to go on a patrol. And on the other hand, if Kilo 2 was on perimeter security, they're going to have to pull Marines out of weapons platoon to man the machine guns that I've got on the freaking posts, right? So it made no sense. It was a clusterfuck. So I knew we were heading into an unconventional operating environment. And I thought, well, looking at OIF-1, we needed weapons guys in the rifle squads, right? And we needed riflemen in the weapons platoon. So why don't I just make 4 fucking rifle platoons, and I'm going to put weapons specialists in every squad. So if they're rolling in trucks, and I got a machine gun on a truck, then that squad can man their own vehicles, right? Or if they're on a damn perimeter post with a 240 Golf, they don't have to pull a Marine from weapons platoon out of the rotation to man the damn gun. So I did what was at the time probably the most unpopular thing in the history of Kilo Company. And when the word got out that I was going to reorganize the company, the NCOs just threw a fucking shit fit.
What about up the chain of command? What did your battalion commander think of this idea?
He didn't know.
Check.
It didn't even occur to me to tell him until my good friend George Trevor, the operations officer, pulls me aside one day. He says, "Hey, Trent, I hear you reorganized the company." "Yeah, yes, sir." He says, "Tell the boss about that?" No. You think you ought to?
There's only
I'm guessing.